Have you ever secretly hated your friend because it seemed like he's not valuing the friendship enough? And it feels unfair, right? It feels unfair because you're giving so much and he does not seem to give as much back. And so he accumulates so much debt that in the end, the friendship isn't a friendship anymore. It breaks down. I know this situation because I used to be exactly like this. I used to be a depressed people pleaser with zero confidence, no real friends, and no girls into me. Fortunately, today everything's different. Today I am confident, I have charisma, I have the best friends I can imagine, and I enjoy beautiful relationships with girls. And all of that isn't magnetic, honestly. You can do this transformation too, and in this video, I'm gonna tell you why it is so bad that you resent your friends secretly, because this is called a coward contract. And this is literally poisoning you, poisoning your friendships, and poisoning your whole life. I'm gonna tell you how to step out of this coward contract and how to finally see friendships again as what they truly are. Beautiful experiences and sacred connections between people. So stick with me. I remember I had a friend like this back then. I was supporting her. I was always there for her, and she gave me so much. Basically, she gave me the things I did not had back then. But still, even though I had all this positivity around her and I really wanted the best for her, over time, I started to feel this resentment towards her when I realized that I was not the only person in her life, basically. Obviously, she has other friends, she has her own life, and so on. But I started to feel this resentment. I started to feel and think to myself, like, well, I'm giving so much to her. I'm basically giving everything for her. I'm always there for her. I'm always listening. I'm thinking about her problems in my free time. I'm giving so much. Why isn't she giving as much back? Why isn't she doing this and that? Why is she all the time with those other people instead of with me? So I started to build up this resentment and this hate towards her because it felt unfair to me. It felt unfair because she did not give me something I wanted from her. And over time, this resentment grew and grew and grew, which led to me being distant and being cold. I was not the funny guy anymore who were always smiling and talking with her. I started to like look at her with this cold eyes. I started to ignore her, not necessarily because I did not want to do it. I wanted to be with her, but I just wanted to trigger some reaction from her. And this resentment just told me, like, do it, do it. You have to ignore her. You have to be cold because then she finally will realize and she will come back and give you everything you want. Guess what happens? Not what I thought it would happen. Actually, my coldness and my ignorance led to a fight we had. And I remember she said something like, you know, you would really be a great guy if you would not think that you are better than everybody else. And that hit me in that moment because I thought, like, well, what does she mean? Like, what the fuck is she talking about? Like, I don't think that I'm better than the others. No. But she was pointing out at the resentment and at the ignorance I had all the time. And she, of course, she felt it. She felt that something was inside of me. So in the end, we had this fight, and honestly, like, our friendship never was the same anymore. Yeah, we had contact afterwards, but we never really were friends again. How do we get out of this coward contract and out of this resentment towards others? There is one fundamental mindset for this type of behavior. Friendships are not bank transactions. Let me explain this to you. Because when you feel this resentment, when you feel this unfairness in a friendship, the reason for that is that you mess every gesture, every action, every word, you measure it and you give it value. And the problem is that often than not, you value your own things much higher than the things that other people are doing. So let me give you an example. For example, when I said something to that friend of mine back then, something honest from my heart, something very, very nice. I valued it like, let's say, $10. Okay, this is worth $10. I put emotions into it. And then she says, thank you. And maybe she says something back to me, a compliment or also something emotional. But I value it, but I just value it $5. So we have a difference of $5. So basically, now in my brain, okay, I gave her $10, but she just gave me 5 back. So she still has to give me $5. So she is in debt. She did not give me enough. And that is the crucial point here. Because when you measure everything other people do or don't do, and you always feel like it has to be this bank transaction. Like you give $10, you have to get $10 back. If you see everything like this, of course, after some time, you will feel some kind of negativity towards the other person because you know, okay, this person did not give me my money back, basically. So you understand this analogy. Of course, we're not talking about money. We're talking about, how do we say this? We talk about emotional interactions. We talk about stuff in friendships that cannot be really measured. You cannot just measure it like you measure money, for example. And that is the crucial point. Friendships are not bank transactions. And this is exactly what happened with my friend. I started to measure everything I did and she did. And because, of course, I'm not seeing my own mistakes. I'm just seeing her mistakes. So I give her $10. I like basically she gave me the same back, but still the things I am doing, the things I did, they were higher value. They're worth more. So she's always in debt. And that is this vicious cycle because the point with this resentment, you can just say like, yeah, okay, but the person can just give me more and try to be more and put in more effort. Yes, the person can do this, but but it does not matter how much the person is actually doing because it will never be enough for you. This was the case with me. She could give me all the attention in the world. She could give me all her time. She could give me all the compliments. It would still not be enough. Even if there would be just, to go back to our analogy, $1 difference, it would still not be enough. It would still be a difference. And that is the point here, because you cannot just escape through this resentment cycle if the other person gives more. And the point is, when you start to give more, then you automatically expect the other person to give more because you think, okay, I'm not giving enough, so maybe when I start giving even more, the person will finally see it, finally recognize it, and then she will start to give as much back. But this never happens because you always evaluate your own actions higher value than the actions of the other person. So it will never be enough for you. It will never be enough, and you will always be imprisoned and you will be stuck in this resentment cycle. The reason for this is actually a survival instinct you build up, right? This resentment you feel it because you give your resources, your emotional energy, your time, you give it to the other person. Then you see, okay, the other person is not giving me as much back as I wanted. So your body and brain thinks, okay, the person is not giving us enough. So we have to distance ourselves from the person. How do we do it? In the most energy efficient and fastest way, we just start to hate the person. You don't want to give something voluntarily to a person you hate, right? So if you hate the person, if you build up resentment towards the person, you're not willing to give anymore, which saves you from future disappointment you would have if you would try to give and give and give and give. Point of the coward contract, as I said before, you build up this resentment. So basically your brain tries to protect you from disappointment and from being hurt. But the point is, because you're still connected to the person, you still you like the person, you still want to be friends with the person because the person is giving you some kind of validation you need to feel good. So you still do all the stuff you're doing. You still give and give and give, and maybe you even try to give more and more and more. But at the same time, you hold this resentment inside yourself, which tells you, no, 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 we hate this person. We don't want to give this person. You create a polarity between resentment and between love, basically, or between giving. You have a conflict. You have a conflict. And let me tell you this, over time, this conflict will lead to you feeling even more miserable, and it will lead to the destruction of your friendship. This is exactly what happened to me back then. And this is not the only case. Unfortunately, I had this with a couple of friends, that because I built up so much resentment, I hated the person more than I actually loved her. But I kept the person in my life because I needed the person for more validation, for more good feelings. So this resentment, it literally makes you sick. It poisons your life. It poisons your friendships. It poisons your body, literally. Negative emotions, they poison your body. You get sick from it, physically sick. Now that we know that it is a survival mechanism and that it's the brain and body that wants you to protect from future disappointment and future suffering, okay, we have to acknowledge it. We have to see, okay, this resentment I feel, it's a survival mechanism. It's my brain that tells me or that wants to protect me. But here's the point. To truly get out of this, the one thing is to be aware of why do we feel that? What is the reason for it? But the other thing is to reframe the whole concept of friendships. Because right now, as I said before, for you, a friendship is basically a bank transaction. I give $10 so I can get $10 back. The person gives $5 so I give $5 back. And of course, there's some sense of it in a friendship, yeah. But friendships are not bank transactions. They're not materialistic. You have to stop to see friendships as purely something where you can gain from. So instead of seeing friendships as truly something you can gain from, start to look at them from a lens of, what can I give to this friendship? Truly give from my heart, not because I want something back from the person, but because I want to actually give something. Because let's be honest, why do you say yes instead of no? Or why do you do things for some friend of yours, even though you don't actually want to do it? Because you're afraid that you will lose the friendship. But by acting like this, you will actually lose the friendship sooner or later because of the buildup of resentment I told you about. So, to protect and save the friendship, think about it. Okay, what is it that I can actually give to my friend? Is it a compliment? Is it a good time? Is it a support? Whatever. What can I actually give from my heart because I actually like the person, because I actually value the person? What can I give to the person without wanting something in return? So let's think about it at a basic level. I want to give to my friends I want to make him smile. basically. This is very human. This is very, very kind. I want to see my friend smile. What do? I give him a compliment, for example. I give him a compliment so he feels good, he feels appreciated, and he can smile. And when you do this, do not expect a compliment back. What you get back from your friend is that he feels good and that he smiles. That is your reward for your giving your compliment. You don't need a compliment back. This is the wrong way. If your friend gives you a compliment back, this is just a bonus. This is just an extra. You don't need that. The actual reward, the actual thing you want is to make him smile. And you seeing him smile is what makes you happy in the end. This is your reward. Because when you constantly search for something in return from other people, in the sense of, oh, I need a compliment back, I need this and that back, I need this, you will never be satisfied and you will build up this resentment and lose so many beautiful connections you could have. So instead, just think to yourself, what can I genuinely give to my friends, to the people I actually like, to the people I actually love? And just the awareness that you just made someone's day with a compliment, or you just pulled someone out of a negative feedback loop in their head, just the awareness that you just did something good. This is the true reward, because you did it. You did something good. Not because you wanted something from others, not because you wanted to gain, because you wanted to actually give to someone. And that is the reward that makes you actually happy and fulfilled. So stop seeing friendships as bank transactions and see friendships as an opportunity to contribute and give something good and something positive, something from your heart to the world.